that nice light color. Now if you want it really dark, you get your brush wet, you come over here in the dry spot, or the high spot, you just kind of wet it up and let it soften a little bit, let it pull out some paint, and then you got super dark. So what we have is saturated, which is somewhere in the middle here. You got super dark. The more layers you put on, the more dark it's going to get. And then you got kind of watered out. Now if you want to put some in a separate area, like here, right here, and really water it up, so there's a lot of water there. Let's put just a little bit more in even. Really draw it out. Set it out. You can get some real pale color out of it. It's all about the water with the watercolor. The more you use, the lighter it gets. Okay. Let's use some of this. I really want a little more water in there. It's still kind of... Okay. Let's do his hat band with this. I realize it's just the very same color as the frog, but you know what? You'll never be able to tell. By the time it's dry, they're going to look completely different from each other. I'm going to use a smaller brush because that's not it either. I want a small round brush because that's a small round area. So we'll soak it up, brush it out, tap it out, get some out of the area, and then we'll just come over here and drag it in, just like that. I sure hope this thing is recording. My poor frog.
You could stop the chat.
I could, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna keep going until I'm just about done. I'm getting close. All I really got left is his hat band and his hat. Frogs are done. Oh, I guess I better do the handles of this shovel, huh? I'll shut the camera off when it's time to start fussy cutting him out. Y'all don't want to watch that. It takes forever. Some a little more pigment there. That's going to be cute. Give it a quick rinse. Brush it all out. Okay, now his hat is supposed to look like woven straw. So what we want to do is we want to make a mix. We're going to take this pale yellow color. Now these paints are from several different sets and I don't even remember the brands that were on them, so I'm sorry, I can't help you. Just kind of use what you have. It's not hard to mix colors. As you can see, there's a little bit of green in this brush. It's alright, it's not going to hurt anything. I'm going to take this brush here and I'm going to mix some of this pale yellow I'm going to mix over here on the pan. I'm pretty sure you can see that, even though there's a big shadow there. I haven't got my lights set up yet. This is kind of a test video. And we're going to pick up all that water that's softened up all that yellow paint. We're just going to brush it in. There's a little bit of red there on the side. That's not going to hurt us at all. That's just going to give us a little bit of depth. Okay, so now we're going to rinse that out because we don't want to pollute it too much. Okay, now right here there is some dark ochre. What do they call it? It's not burned ochre, it's I forget. I'm sorry. Anyway, we're going to pick up a little bit of this. See, it's already coloring up our brush. Get it over here in the light. We're going to put a bit of that in there. So now we got a mixture of this and this. We don't want all that because that's quite a bit. I'll brush it out here on the paper. See? I have quite a bit of paint left in that brush. Okay. Now we're going to come over here. I've got some umber over here on the end. We used straight umber to do his shoes and his hair. We're going to take just a fuss. It's barely even wet. Just a fuss. And we're going to mix it over here with these two yellows and that little tiny bit of red. Going to make a beautiful straw color. I really enjoy doing watercolors, but I don't do them real often. See how pretty that is? It's not as dark as this one. It's not as light as this one. Got just a touch of brown and just a touch of red in it. Looks just like straw, huh? Now I'm going to take and put just a little bit of water, a little bit more water in there. Just because I want to make sure it's going to cover all 12 of these little hats. Because if there's one thing I know, it's that when you mix a color like this, and it's perfect like this, you better mix enough, because if you don't, you'll be in trouble because you'll never be able to make it quite the same again. Okay, so now we're We're going to try and stay out of that green because we don't want to wash it out. But we're going to go over his hat and go over all of them right quick. Puddle it up just a bit. I don't mind if it gets in his hair a bit. Because like we did with the frog, I want to put a little bit of yellow over the umber in his hair. It could even be this if there's any of it left. Okay, so I'm not going to turn the paper this time. I'm just going to go right on through there. I'm not worried about these puddles wiping out my ink because it's watercolor, which means it's relatively transparent, and this yellow isn't extremely dark, so most of the stamping should show through, as it did in this blue. You probably can't see it with the camera, but the little shadow lines in his pants shows through pretty good. I can't do much about my lighting until my power strips come. Sorry guys. Okay, I got plenty of this left, so I'm just gonna pull that down into his hair a little bit to lighten it up. I wanted him to be kind of light brown. We'll just give him some blonde highlights. You want to be careful not to do too much brushing around after you've been in that brown, because it'll dirty up your straw real fast. If this paper looks funny to you, it's because it's not white. I have a bunch that I coffee dyed for junk journaling. I thought it might make a nice base for this. So far it's been pretty good. I am not unhappy with the results. Okay, that goes. That's that much done. Sorry, gotta rest my back for just a minute. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is over here in my palette. See, I don't ever clean my palette because that's just a waste of time. I've got this nice puddle of red-brown with a little bit of green there mixed at the side from when I was painting a while ago. I'm just going to drop some water in that red-brown. A couple of drops. 3 or 4 drops. And I've got a little black over here. I'm just going to put a couple drops there. Alrighty. I've got this nice